we are live on a Wednesday in May. Golly, where did 2025 go? Is it me? Is it everyone? Or is my old man coming out? What do you think, April?
I think it's all the above.
I heard, I saw in the minds of Bill and David in the background. I was like, they're probably thinking that too. Probably all the above. So anyway, you know how we do Kevin Smith and we put his face on the map? Like, where's Carmen Sandiego? Like, we're going to do that with you.
Right? That would be fun. I would love that. We're in Panama, or actually Pensacola, Florida, and we're on the base. So Blue Angels aren't flying right now because there's a storm out. But man, we've been hearing their thunder a lot, which is pretty cool. And we're enjoying it here.
Wonderful. Yeah, no, I am excited to have this show. So we're not going to take a lot of time. We're going to get into it. We have David Manansky. I always mess the name up. David Manansky and Bill Forrester. So David, he had created what's called Jaded Health, and we're going to go into his story. But folks, let me just cut to the chase. The wellness industry, right? Okay. So when I find a diamond in the rough, I like to tout them, right? And so we've all went on his program. The guy created a program to help people, right? To longevity, help them with habits and lifestyle and mental. He put all this that he went through himself, put it together, and now gives it to us. And this works, right? So we wouldn't be doing it if it didn't work, right?
Yeah.
But if you're busy and you're building a business, you're a professional, you're juggling 1,000 balls, you got a family, whatever, right? And, you can put health to the wayside. But one of the things I noticed, and you've helped me do this, April, we can go without food for a long time. We can go with water for some time. But we can't go, you can go a long time without health, but then it cashes in one day. And David really helped me understand that, and also took all the goofiness out of it, right? And just said, hey, do this, right? Like bullet points. So let's get into it. I don't want to spoil it, but before we do, let's run the intro. We're going to give a couple shout outs. We're going to pull these gentlemen up. Sound good?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Do it. I got a little cold, thanks to my daughter, and and I don't even
spreading the love.
It's got to be my kids because I never leave the house. I mean, so like, how do I get a cold? How does it just run around the country and find me? So anyway, let's get this party started. I'm gonna wake up soon. These guys are high.
Are you looking to grow your network and your net worth with other high-level, heart-centered professionals? Then grab a seat and your favorite beverage and join Mike Asherbranner, the Redneck Connector. It's time for the Hounds of Business Community Happy Hour.
Hey, Yolanda, Russ, and Homer in the house early. Thank you all so much for coming in. This is going to be fun, folks. I'll put comments in there if y'all want to engage, share your perspectives, ask questions, pick on Bill Forrester, whatever makes you happy today. Let's do it. And he's got a nice shirt on today, so y'all pick on him extra hard. He's not smiling in the background, so let's give him stuff today. All right, there he is. All right, so let's do this. First of all, you have been one of a tremendous friend to me, number one. And number two, just you just get it. Like why we created the Hounds of Business Community, what it's all about, right? Pushing people up. No sales pitch, no pitch slapping with a P and DMs all day. You really made this and personified this, April. So it's my pleasure to give you the platform so you can tap into and share this upcoming retreat, a little bit of the backstory, and tell folks how they can tap in and plug into this, but also some of your webinars and Reiki for free. So 1 or 2 minutes, give folks where they can find April. You want to know this lady, folks. Trust me.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. This Tomo tour is near and dear to my heart because I've lived in Japan for a total of 10 years and I've always wanted to go back. And during my Reiki training, I realized that the birthplace of Reiki is Mount Kurama near Kyoto. So we're actually in this Tomo tour, we're going to be going to Tokyo. We're going to see the Tokyo Tower, the Imperial Palace, as you see there in the background. And then we're going to take the bullet train down to Kyoto and explore Mount Kurama with a private tour guide who it's just being open to explore the culture. As I'm freezing and unthawing here because of my Skylink here, but so anybody's welcome to this. And I'm your private tour guide, and Tomo means friend in Japanese. So I'm taking American friends and introducing them to my Japanese friends. So that's what's really special about this, right? We're expanding that community globally and just really getting into the culture. And I'm just very excited for this. So yeah, you can scan that QR code there up in the corner, right below the hounds, and get more information there. I also have free once a month restorative Reiki meditation. And Mike, you need some Reiki, get your chi up there, get your energy going. I know that you've attended my meditations and have enjoyed them. So that's something that you can also find there on that link, that QR code. You can look into that on my website. And I'm all about building community. I love interviewing people, doing live stream podcasts for other people that are curious about expanding the collective consciousness about wellness. We got to look beyond the box of just physical and diet and, getting so many steps in a day. It's so deep for your wellness. So this is why I'm excited to be here today with David and Bill and you, and talk about David's program.
So exciting. And thank you for all you do. And yeah, folks, tune in. There's lots of people that she knows a lot of folks. She runs with people. So if you're like, well, I'm not getting in with the right people or meeting folks who, reciprocate, whatever the, challenge is, ask who. I'm like a redneck owl. Like, who does everywhere? Who do you know? And then the how will come. And we proved that. We're going to get into that. So let's move on real quick. Want to give a quick shout out. Lisa Frederick, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. I talk about her all the time. She don't know that. It's all good stuff. But yeah, and Lisa, if you're wondering what I'm saying, just call me. I'll tell you. We got Bill back there. So, Bill, would you like to come up, say something about this? Would you like to? All right. So, Bill Forrester, guys, last week, I had the honor and privilege of bringing up the great Davin Silvano, right? I said that right. 15 times a charm. So, Davin Silvano and the Purpose Summit. And boy, he caught me. He called me hook, line, and sinker when he talked about back in the old days, right? When they first started 6 years ago. And they had flat soda and folding chairs in the not nice old part of town of Detroit. And I'm like, the hounds went crazy, man. That's who we are. So Bill introduced me to Davin. We had the privilege of helping him and getting this out there and supporting this great mission. And it's been a fun time. So, if you're local, some folks, or you just want to fly out there, it's not too late, right? So, Bill, you got anything you want to add to this? Because you have been a spider in the web, connecting a lot of folks, and the hounds included, brother. So we appreciate you.
Sure. So, Davin, the Purpose Summit, I would say May 12th to me is really special. It's not a date that the Purpose Summit counts, but Purpose Summit's attendees have the opportunity to go work in the 70 local nonprofits that day. So Monday, before the actual Purpose Summit starts, you might be packing a pair of the 11 million shoes that Samaritan's Feet gives away. You might be over at Flourishing Foundation working with kids on learning how to code and stopping suicide. So the 12th is a great day. And then you have about 64, I think it is. I don't want to call them keynotes, but they are keynote speakers of very high worth and value that are going to be all there all those days. So you can have breakfast with them, lunch with them, dinner with them. They speak and they don't run away. They stay there and learn from each other and grow with each other. So I think it's a wonderful event. There we go. So I don't have much to do with that, but I certainly have enjoyed Davin sharing with it, and we'll also be there. Somebody from CEO Zones will be there. But
wonderful. Yeah, again, birds of a feather flock together, folks. So if you can make it, if you know people in Charlotte, North Carolina, hey, it's not too late. Go network, learn with, and it's not just listening to people. You get to interact, you get to rub elbows, get to learn from, meet folks. Yeah, and I'm jealous, man. I didn't get to go. But Yeah, man, I'll get on the next one. I didn't know. So let's see real quick. What else? Oh, I want to give Jeff a shout out. Jeff is the only person on planet Earth that I took seriously in the digital currency space. Okay, so that just says it all. I don't need to get into it. I'm not always skeptical, but I've been around. I see everything. And so when I find somebody who stands out, who educates, who puts people's best interests first, you better believe I'm going to shout them out, especially in what I perceive as an industry that has a lot of noise to it. Kind of like the used car lots of the 50s kind of thing, right? So thank you, Dr. Jeffrey Berger. Appreciate you, man. You just educate. He's got folks scan the QR code. If you just want to learn and listen, the man doesn't push. He doesn't bother people. He does what we do. You don't need to be sold. You need to be educated. I have all the information. Now I can make a decision for myself. So that's why I like Jeff. That's why we want to get him out here, because there's a lot of noise in this. And the guy cuts through it and he gives you what you need. He's never pushy, and he won me over. So enough said. And actually, he won a really trusted, respectable person in my wheelhouse. And that really got my attention. So again, educate, promote, help each other, right? Build relationships, then let them take a look at what you do, folks. It works. We don't run around DMing people and bothering folks. We just build relationships and are talking freely. And then people like April, Bill, and David make things happen for you because they like you and they see value in you, right? So that's what we're about to talk about. Let's bring this guy up. I've talked about him enough. Let's talk to him. There he is. Put him up there. There's my soundboard. Everybody welcome David Menansky. How are you, Mike?
Woohoo! Welcome, David.
Thank you.
I'll work on it. I'm getting my energy back. I made a little redneck espresso here.
And what's in that, Mike?
Okay. This is just black coffee. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
That's black coffee. And this time I got Watcher.
Okay.
And by the way, you don't see this kind of bowl. This ain't a bowl. This ain't a cup in Japan, is it? This is like a ginormous serving bowl in Japan, right?
Yeah, that's not a teacup in Japan for sure. That's like a soup.
Right. I have a friend that's from that area, and I was like, "Give me a cup," and then I was like, oh, "That's a cup around the world." I'm talking about an American cup, like a ginormous 55-ounce.
Jeff,
You only got a 20-ounce bladder. Let's get a 55-ounce cup. So anyway, we're all here today, and folks chime in, have fun with this, learn, ask questions, and so David, do us a favor, introduce everybody who may not know you yet, and share with them, your little bit of your backstory, right? Because this is what caught me. You did it, right? And your doctor told you to take a hike if you don't start listening, right? So go ahead, piggyback off that, and then we're going to get into what happened in December and why we're all here today, brother.
Okay. My name is David Medansky. I'm known as the health guy because I love being the inspiration to others for living a healthy lifestyle. I help individuals who are 40 and over, sometimes younger, who are tired, embarrassed, or frustrated to being energetic, admired, and having vibrant health, all without breaking the bank, because that's how I was. And after all, isn't that what we all want, to have vibrant energy and health? My backstory, I got my wake-up call in July of 2016 at age 61. And that's when my doctor told me, based on my lab results and I was fat, I had a 95% chance for a fatal heart attack. He gave me two options: lose weight or find a new doctor. He strongly encouraged me to find a new doctor because he'd been after me for 8 years to lose the weight. If I did lose weight, I gained on a diet, I gained it all back, sometimes even more. This time was different. The light bulb went off. And during the next 4 months, I shed 50 pounds, which is 25% of my total body weight. More importantly, I've kept it off. And then in June of 2022, at age 67, I hiked up Mount Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
So I don't allow age to be a factor or an excuse not to attempt to be healthier.
Yeah, see, that's why I loved and hated you, because I'm 43 and I'm like, okay, what's my excuse, right? And it's called inspiration. It's not to be shamed. It's just to be inspired, right? Like, if this guy can do it, you really can do. You just got to put in the work and know how, and you bring the know-how, and that's why I was excited. So I think it's phenomenal. 50 pounds climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, man, that's unbelievable. And that's not what most folks experience, though, right? Like, most folks that I know, they just kind of slowly decline and give up, and they try things, it lets them down. And, there's a million excuses. And folks listening in, share them if you want to, because you're not alone. Other people are just better at hiding this stuff than you are. So this is a place where we just talk about it, because once we talk about it, we're open about it, then we could do something about it. So,
to be honest, Mike, that's why I tell people, I said, you can be existing through life, you can be living life, or you can be thriving in life. I choose to thrive in life. And also you can be a participator and get down on the floor with your grandkids or kids and play with them. Or you can be a spectator where you're sitting in a chair just watching everybody else be active.
Yeah. Well, and most of us work, and I talk about this in my financial business, David, and you got it. That's why it's like PB&J. I said, most people work this much of their life, right? So they can enjoy this much in retirement, but they can't because they're broke and unhealthy and all that stuff. And we're all over here providing the community and the means and the know-how to say, look, work this hard of your life really, really hard, right? 5-10 years, so you can have the health, money, and freedom to enjoy the rest of it. It's backwards, right? And this is why, oh man, that's why I'm excited, because we have Bill, right? He's been there, done that. He's built businesses. Now he's doing them because he's bored, kind of thing. He's out there just being good. And we got April, who's breath work and building her business. And so we're all real people. And that's what I'm excited about. So, because there's so much noise out there. So let me ask you this before we pull the panel up and ask them questions, man. What's the secret sauce in Life 42 in this program? What makes it sticks when others fail, right? Or fold cheaper than a lawn chair?
The genius of Life 42 is its simplicity. When people see the 7 easy daily tasks, their first response is, I can do that. And my response is, I understand you can do it. The question is, will you do it? And so a lot of the people who've gone through the program like it because either it's structured for them, it's guidelines for them, or they make it a game where they just check the little checkbox each day that they completed the task. And the tasks are very easy and very simple to do. The question is, will you do it? Because a lot of times we all know what to do. We just don't do it.
Bingo. We all know not to overspend, overeat, blah, blah, blah. But we're people. That's the paradox, man. We know better, but we ain't doing it. All right. I'm the financial guy, and I still can't get on Amazon. Oh my God. Right. So, but that's what I mean. You account for that. Not you experienced it, you figured it out, you did your research as a former attorney, right? And then you just started saying, hey, let's shout it out. This is the truth. This is the research. Here's what works. Here's the empirical evidence. And so we tested you on it. So tell us real quick, because I want to pick Bill's brain. You called me around Christmas time and you're like, hey, I just made a new program. And I'm like, oh, neat. So what inspired you to do Life 42? So the Jaded Health program. And by the way, folks, this guy does wellness workshops. He does workshops for corporations to help the staff and the company and the people in it get healthier. It's way better, retention costs, etc. But what prompted you to make this? Because you do corporate wellness and you do all this other things and authorship. Why? And then, what was the motivation?
I was talking to another person who did 75 hard, and a corporation wanted him to do it for his employees, and he didn't want to because it has a 90% failure rate. Very difficult to do. I have not done it because I know I would not complete it. I had talked to him about a program I created 2 years ago where it's going to be 91 days. And I sent it to him and he said, hey, this looks great. I started looking at it, refining it, improving it. And I'm very grateful and appreciative because people like April and Michelle Ward gave me input to make it better and improve it. And so I took their suggestions and added it in there. And I wanted to make it a program that 90% of the people would succeed and make it fun, simple, and easy and affordable at the same time.
Yeah, and I think you did that. So let's stop here. All right. You came up with this program. It was great. I had the honor of helping you tweak it a little bit and, go through the kind of semantics of it. And I thought, wow, it's so easy. A redneck can do it. Right. Oh, and we need to find that picture. We must have dropped the ball. He actually made a picture. He took a picture of me, I guess, on Zoom when I wasn't paying attention, holding his book. And he put on there the caption. Y'all remember those old commercials? So easy a caveman can do it. Well, he put a picture of me going on a still shot. It said, "So easy, even the redneck connector can do it." And I wasn't sure if I should be offended, Bill, or excited. I was both. I think it was funny.
I thought it was cool.
It
I
was
liked
cool.
it.
I said, let's clean it up a little bit, and then we'll send it out. And then I lost it. So anyway, Bill, let's start with you, brother. What intrigued you, first of all, to take it? I know I introduced you, and I was going to introduce you guys. Then you met before I could. Love that. But what was it about David and then the program that said, yeah, I'll give it a shot? What was the motivation?
Well, I guess I first got the non-simple golden rules and looked at those and said, well, that's pretty simple. It's about consistency. And then when he called it 42 days of consistency, which I think the word consistency is something we haven't mentioned yet. But if you just do those 9 simple things every single day, or those 7 key things that he forced into the 42 program, lo and behold, I've lost 11 or 12 pounds, and it's right at a month. So and I think the 42 is also what David was hinting at. That's just enough time that you can do it. It's in your mind. You wake up, you take that, which I thought was excessive a month ago, take that giant gulp of at least 22 ounces, sometimes more, of water before you do anything. Before you go to the bathroom, you got it sitting there waiting for you in the morning. And that just, it made it easy. And then I didn't realize, and maybe, I guess we didn't talk about this prior, but I thought I was eating healthy most of the time. I was just continually gaining weight, didn't care. And then all of a sudden I realized about the certain fluids to avoid, certain foods to avoid. And all of a sudden I was not eating healthy any of the time, but I thought I was because the package says I was. The company said I was, but I was not. So I guess I'll stop there and let you go back to David. But
now, actually, before we get to David, because you go ahead and touch on it, because then I want him to explain it after you. I'll bring it up. So the 7 habits, right? That was one of them. And that, it was just, hey, is that it? And simplicity of it was great. So I don't want to spoil it for April. April, in your own words, what was it about either David, the program, why we were like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. What the heck? What was it?
Yeah, well, I heard him on one of your live shows, and he was launching his book, right? Jaded Health. So you can tell I have a dog-eared. I have a bookmark in there, right? I read through this, and I decided, why not check it out? And then I was so surprised, as Bill said, how simple it was. And then when he came out with the program, I was like, yes, I need to be held accountable, because through each day, right, even though I'm living with intention, I'm on the road, I'm doing these other things. And so how am I really showing up for myself every day? And I had honest conversations with David's, and I talked to him about things, and he's so easy to talk to, and just matter of fact, he just asks, well, why do you think that way? Or, he just kind of shifts it to where it's like, oh, okay, I guess it's because I'm getting in my own way, really, about things. Because my thing was, I thought I had to be perfect every day. And this, in the program, this perfectionism that I have in certain things, that, I got to do it right. I got to have it exactly this way, or I got to start all over again. And he said, you got those 5 days. So I'll let David explain that. And so then that eased my mind of the pressure that I had to do it exactly by the book, and just having that accountability partner and being aware of the sugar. That was my thing, the sugar that I was consuming.
Oh, don't even get me started. I got Cookie Monsters in my house with little ponytails, y'all. I mean, it's bad. But again, we're all at different levels, and we'll get there in a minute. Like, a couple of us are starting over for the 15th time. I don't know who. Other folks are in it the second, third week and seeing results. But David, they touched on a few good points, and thank you for sharing that, folks. That was good because it's real. But the 7 habits. When I first saw it, I was like, "That's it." Like seriously, it was about as complex as a fortune cookie message. It was like, oh, come on, that can't be it, because everything's so hyped nowadays. It really is. Like, you got a big book on fitness and 50 different genres and all of this stuff. And David's like, 7. I'm like, he teaches new dogs old tricks. That's what I like to say now. So there it is. So David, explain to us what the 7 habits are, where they came from, and why are they seeing this kind of success mentally and the results? Like, you knew this was going to happen,
Sure.
but we didn't. So
Well, that's the daily tracker we use. It's Life 42. Yeah. And the 7 habits, it's on one sheet. And basically, it's very simple. It's read 10 pages in one of the books, and I give you a list of 7 books. And you can also read any nonfiction self-help book that you find educational, informative. 30 minutes of physical activity. And that could be walking the dogs, gardening, cleaning the house. You can break it up into 2 15-minute sessions or 3 10-minute sessions. Basically, it's moving. It's getting up, being active. So it's not necessarily going to the gym or doing exercises, just movement. Number 3 is drink 64 ounces or more, preferably 1/2 of your total body weight in pure water, and to avoid all diet sodas, fruit juices, fruit flavored beverages, and milk. I do make some exceptions with milk if people want to have it for their coffee and other things, except for cereal. Number 4, this is the tough one. Avoid refined sugars, highly processed, ultra processed, and manufactured foods, which I call imposter foods or edible products. That's where people think they're eating healthy, like Bill was saying. However, until you read the ingredients, you learn that it's the deceptive marketing tactics used by the food industry on the front of the package instead of what really is in the ingredients on the back of the package. And they put the ingredients in the fine, small print for a reason. They don't want people knowing what they're ingesting. Number 5 is to eat real holistic whole foods. In other words, eat real foods. Don't eat the imposter fake meats. Don't eat the processed stuff. Eat a whole apple. Instead of drinking orange juice, eat an orange. Avoid alcohol consumption. And as April was saying, you get 5 days of not being perfect. We just want you to be consistent. So if there's a special event and you want to have a glass of wine or a beer with a friend, you can go ahead and enjoy it without feeling guilty because you're not penalized. You don't have to start over until you miss 6 days. You can miss up to 5 days, and the 6th day you got to start over. And then the last one is an affirmation. It's everything I eat and drink heals and nourishes my body, which helps me achieve and maintain excellent health. That's it. 7 tasks. I call them tasks because until you do them for at least 66 days, they don't become a habit. And that's the whole purpose of the program, is to quiet your mind chatter so that you have a different approach and a different attitude toward being healthy.
Yeah, while you were talking, I'm over here trying to find the 7 habits and keys, and I was trying to find the redneck picture of me with the book. I found the picture, but not the caption. Anyway, I will bring that up for folks, and you can go, guys, go to jadedhealth.com. Everything he does, right? The book, the workshops for wellness and corporations, and the Jaded Health or the Life 42 is now available. So go check that out. He's got a ton of good, simplistic information on there. You know what I used to call you? Because I didn't know, I just meet you and I'm excited. I used to say, like, the guy's basically Hulk Hogan. Like, say, take your vitamins, say your prayers, brother. Like, it's that simple. It's funny. I was like, did he just watch Hulk Hogan and came up with a program? Kind of. But seriously, it's rooted in science. It works. And this is why I find interesting. Like, so simple. And the older I get, man, the more simple I want to be, right? So I guess that's the beauty of old age or older age.
Yeah, the person in the picture is Bonnie Harry. She's known as the Food Babe. She wrote Feeding You Lies. She's working a lot with Robert Kennedy Jr. To get the toxins out of the food. A lot of our food is not allowed in Canada, China, or the European Union. Same products has different ingredients. And what I tell people is it's not so much the food we're eating, it's what they've done to the food. As an example, Gatorade came out in the mid 70s, 1970s. It had 5 ingredients. Today it has over 13, and the only 2 original ingredients is sugar and water. And the reason the Jaded Health is so important, the book, is I encourage people to read that first before jumping into Life 42. Because once you understand the 9 simple golden rules for living a healthy life, it makes it easier to succeed at the Life 42 program.
Anybody want to chime in? Not all at once. So what? Let me ask you this: was it easy to get started, or was it easier once you got started? Was it easy to jump in, or were you like me and just kept like, oh, I'm not, life's in the way, I'm not really engaged, blah blah blah? Like, how was your experience from beginning to middle, and where are you? Like, Bill, are you like 3 weeks in now?
Right at a month.
Okay, so you're 4 weeks, right? Almost 4 weeks out of the 6.
Yeah.
So, did you have to restart? Did you, did you struggle in the beginning? Did it get easier? How? Just give us the journey, if you want, my friend.
Being an idiot, you might be the redneck, but I'm the idiot. Back in January, David and I are talking, and I say, gee, we're going to take this motor coach trip, and we're going to be gone 8 weeks. And he said, perfect time. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. And he said, well, gee, your 50th wedding anniversary is coming up. Do you want to be healthy, or do you maybe not even want to get to your 50th wedding anniversary, which is coming up in a few months now? So all that happens, come back late March, come back to work, start to do it. Had the book with me and probably read it once, but I should have read it a few times while I was out, even before I started. And then something happened, and I'll just put it this way. I went to a friend's 97th funeral. And this guy is the real guy that created the microwave and patented it for RCA TV at the time, because they accidentally made the microwave, right? And as his story goes, they were testing it in the laboratory, and he puts a whole raw chicken in this microwave, and he says, well, it should cook probably within about 20 minutes because an oven would take so long. Well, at 2 minutes, it blows the door off of this fake microwave and hits people. Anyway, I was at his funeral. Wonderful man, know his children, his grandchildren, and now his great-grandchildren. And I'm there, but the reason I got a mental shake, and it just was like David was at the funeral with me, I am in what I call the fattest I've ever been suit, and it is tight at that man's funeral. And I came out of the funeral, and it was like, to answer your question finally, Mike, the switch went off. I have all the resources. It was all up here, and now I got to do it. So that's what it flipped the switch for me. It was all between my ears, and David was trying to get me there in January, and I just wasn't hearing it, right?
Wow, that's the case for most of us, right, folks? Like that's just the human condition. Like, and here's the freeing part, Bill. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if we caused it, we can change it. If you don't like where you're at, if you're too fat, too whatever, fill in the blank. Now it's not easy, but it doesn't have to be a struggle. So that's why I'm excited, because David's just a cool guy, man. He's just, he really cares about people. Because I asked him, I was like, why are you doing this? And he's like, I want to help people. I'm like, I believe it. It's like other people say it, I'm like, oh, I don't know. David says it, I'm like, he really does want to help people. Like, he doesn't need to do anything.
One of the calls I was on with David, Mike, I said, oh, by the way, how do I pay you? And he's like, I don't, and he kind of looked around like, gee, I don't know at that point, right? Pay me. And then when he gave me the amount, I was like, is that a day or a week? And he's like, no, that's it. That's the whole thing. So it's real.
Man. That's when you know you have true value. I said that to a person not too long ago, and they're like, for a month? I'm like, no, for 6. I'm like, oh, okay. Then you start thinking, wow, if somebody really thought it was that. But my point is, you're spot on. There's value here. He's just making it affordable and accessible. That's what we do here. That's what we want people to win. And what I liked about him, same thing you said, Bill. He's like, listen, if I can get this out there and get people to see it and get people talking, right? Because people are going to talk about something good, then the money will catch up. I want to make this affordable and accessible and reach people, and the job will take care of itself. And dadgum straight if that didn't happen. So good job. Look at him; he's blushing. I never seen the man blush. Let's make him blush. This ain't flattery. Hey, you well earned it. You really did. And we want to make sure that folks out there, not that all programs are bad, but maybe it's not the right fit for you, right? At the Hounds, we don't want bald people buying perms and stuff. We want to make sure that they have a wig and a hat. If that's what we want to make sure you get in where you fit in, or maybe you're just happy without anything, right? So, April, on that, how was your experience? Was it easy in the beginning? Did it get harder? What was your motivation behind it? Just kind of paint the picture.
Yeah, it was challenging for me to get started because of the perfectionism. Like, when am I going to do this? When am I going to, just the mind getting in the way. And then once I talked to David a few times, and he just kept giving me tips, and I would ask him about different questions. I mean, David, I just love your mind, and anything that I had questions about, such as protein powder, like whey protein. He's like, nope, plant-based, So I went and got some plant-based, and I could feel the difference, just how my body responded and digestion. And that's part of it too, is that David is accessible. You email him, you connect with him, he's there for you. It's not 2 days later, oh, sorry, I was busy doing this, I can't get back to you. No, he responds. So that's what I love about it. And that the program is it's just as Bill was saying, right? Like, that's it. That's all you're going to charge me. And that this is changing lives. This is the rest of your life to change. So one thing that really stuck with me was recently I think we were in Panama City Beach, Florida. And I saw a gentleman. He was in a wheelchair, and somebody younger was pushing him. So my mind says, oh, that's a father-son. I don't know if that's true. Although the gentleman in the wheelchair, his health was horrible, just horrible. And I thought to myself, if he knew he could do something as this, right? Just 10 years ago, or, whatever, right? Just imply those rules, he would not be in that wheelchair now.
Wow.
My heart just sank looking at, and you see people, and it's a behavior. It really is. It's a behavior that we have. And when we can shift the script or get shocked like Bill did, and going, look, I got to do something now, then that's when we invest in ourselves. But we have to get to that point of wanting to do it and wanting that investment for ourselves, so that way we stick to it. And this is so easy and so accessible that a redneck could do it.
Yet
to be proven.
Yet to be
continued.
The whole concept is to build a community where everybody supports each other and keeps each other accountable. And so what we haven't talked about is what people get when they enroll in the program. And by the way, it's only $10 a month. However, we do ask that you buy the tracker, and we ask that you buy the book, because that's required to participate. But $10 a month, and you get what I call open office hours for group coaching and accountability. You also get 3 individual one-on-one sessions, and you also get a newsletter weekly, which is not just fluff, but it gives helpful tips and quotes and other great stuff. And that's the importance of it. That's the old one. There's the new one. There you go.
There it is. I got it.
So yeah, that was me on the left when July of 2016 with my daughter. So that's what I look like. And then that's through the years, 2017, 18, and then today. Uh, I just want to help people. And I'm charging $10 and people say, why so cheap? Well, number one, I want to make it affordable. Number two, if I gave it away, nobody would do it or they make excuses. So you have to have a little bit of skin in the game, and everybody can afford $10 because you can avoid going to Starbucks. You can avoid going to McDonald's or other fast food places. It pays for itself. Not only that, you have your health. And there's an old saying that a person with good health has 1,000 dreams. A person with poor health has only one, and that's to be healthy. And then also, as you touched on, Mike, when we're younger, we spend and sacrifice our health in pursuit of wealth. And as we get older, we spend our wealth in pursuit of health. So I want to help that be a balance where you can preserve the wealth, enjoy the health, and live a long, healthy, active life with excellent mental clarity and cognitive ability. Because that's important nowadays with people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s who have excellent health for their bodies, but their minds have a little bit of dementia or memory loss. Again, it's being in a prison in your body if your mind is active, or vice versa, having a good body but not a mind that's there to enjoy it. So I want people to be able to thrive and enjoy life.
Yeah, harmony, right? I don't like the word balance. Not personally. Like every time I take a step, I'm off balance. I don't know what that is, but harmony, I can get behind that, right? Sometimes you spend more time here, there, but you're not overcompensating in one area and letting the other one go. Like I have been 3 years building a business, 3 businesses. And by the way, Bill, here's one for you, piggybacking off what April said. Here's my translation. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't drown his stubborn butt. There you go. Bill likes the redneck isms.
Cooler than a ceiling fan, Mike. Cooler than a ceiling fan.
I think I ripped that off from E40. Yeah, I like all kind of stuff. But so April, that was profound earlier. And David, you're absolutely right. Like again, health issues. People are born with things. People develop cancer who are healthy. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the vast majority of people who don't have to go down that route. Otherwise, you're being healthy. You have healthy habits. You can prevent a lot of this stuff too, for the most case. So, but if they only knew, folks, that's why we have the Hounds of Business. That's why we work with great folks like Bill at CEO Zones, because we got to take this out there. If we have this in a cave with the lights off, it's not beneficial. How's it valuable? We need to go out there and talk about it. Have the courage to talk about it, right? And introduce people. I just introduced these folks. I knew they would get along, right? And they did. And then they started going, hey, what about this, right? So have fun with this. And let me ask you all this. All right, we're going to pick on April first. So, we all struggle with something. Most of us, consensus was it's in here. But what was the hardest part of this program for each of you, right? So was there a moment where you thought about throwing in the towel, or was it really, really challenging? Did you eat up some of your days real quick like I did? April, go ahead.
So what was the challenging part? Was that
what was the hard part? Was there a hard part, or like, man, I'm about to quit, or I don't know if I can do this?
It was the getting past my own BS, my belief systems about it had to be perfect. I had to do it exactly this way. And then really giving myself some grace, as David said so perfectly. If you're going to go out to dinner with friends and you want a glass of wine, although I don't drink, but something like that, right? So for me, it was that, and then the sugar, right? So my body was used to that. My body, craving that sugar. I don't have the cravings at night so much anymore. What I will do though is I have freeze dried or blueberries, the frozen blueberries, because that's what David said to me. He said, you can have as many frozen blueberries as you want. And I'm like, that's perfect. That's what I will substitute for, like a little snack at night, having that sweet tooth craving, just getting things like that, getting like mojito dates or something, just having one because it has fiber in it and it's got some, rich vitamins and things. So I'll have a date or something instead of chocolate or anything like that. So just learning how to substitute out those things too, I think takes some time, and just trust in yourself and in the process, and know that David's there. You can always reach out and talk to him about it.
Yeah, the substitute. That's a big one, because I'm like, what do you substitute like 800 cookies before bed with? Like, that's a good question.
A walk.
No, I remember. What'd you say?
A
A
walk.
walk.
A lock. Yeah,
Not
like
W-O-K. W-A-L-K. Like,
oh, I
Oh.
thought you meant. I thought you said lock, like a Foot Locker, like lock that stuff away.
no.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was just having. So I'm almost 44. Be 44 in the end of the month here, May 31st. And so I would sit there, eat all these cookies, wake up, and wonder why I feel so bad for 2 hours. Duh, right? And so just the thought of, I don't want to do this anymore. But not doing something ain't the same as doing something else, right? Like, we know what we don't want, but we got to gravitate towards things that we could want, right? So saying don't eat cookies, no substance. So I'm not making this up, folks. I had a tangerine. I had like 5 of them, and then I started laughing because I could hear David say, "Do you eat 18 oranges at once?" I'm like, "Well, I am tonight, David, because I can't have cookies, right?" And I like little tiny ones. But again, I just, and my wife, we've been working, and it seems like the universe was like, "You're not going to follow this program in my life." And, but that just got me more resolved. And my wife finally said, she's like, "If you don't mind, let me do the list." And I said, "Absolutely. Go use this and go shopping." Right. So we're going to save money and have more fun and do it together. Right. Because it was like that, what, Gandhi or somebody like that. This David, you probably know this story. You know all these stories.
Yeah, there's in Jaded Health, there's 17 short stories and parables with life lessons, and one is the Gandhi story where a mother brings her child to Gandhi and says, "Tell him not to eat sugar." And Gandhi says, "Come back in 2 weeks." So the mother comes back in 2 weeks with the child, and Gandhi says to the child, "Don't eat sugar." And the mother says, "Why didn't you tell him that 2 weeks ago?" And Gandhi says, "Because before I could tell him not to eat sugar, I had to stop eating sugar."
Yeah. That's my household, David. That story is what kept me in the game, man. It's like, okay, there's cookies everywhere, but I have to do it. I can't tell my kids not to do it unless I'm not doing it, unless I'm going to do it.
That's exactly right. And also I love about, David, the ripple effect that you talk about in the book too, because Mike, as you are shifting and you're changing things, then that's going to also impact your kids, and they're going to learn from you. You're setting that bar for them. Yeah.
So do you want to tell the story of the ripple effect, April?
Yes. So that was the business exec, right? And there was somebody that was an employee that was kind of disgruntled, and so she took him out to the pond and threw a rock into the pond and
Well,
said,
let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
The employee was upset because his coworkers were not including him in discussion groups and other things, and he was offended. And he went to his boss and said, "Can you talk to the employees, because I don't like being treated this way?" And she says, "Come out to the pond that they had at the place where they worked." And she goes, "Throw a rock into the pond." He does, and it started sending out ripples. And she tells the employee, "Stop the ripples with your hand." And after a few minutes, he says, "I'm unable to do that." And she says, "Exactly. As you're unable to stop the ripples that you created with the rock, I'm unable to stop the ripples that you created by your actions with the fellow employees. So maybe you need to think about what you're doing to create those ripples." The beauty of it is you can change the type of ripples that you send out.
Nice. Did you freeze again? I think she froze, or she just decided to do.
I don't see her hound jumping in the background, so it froze.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what I attempt to do, is take life lessons and apply them to eating healthier. So when you put out there the ripples of not eating healthy or making poor choices, you can change that by making better choices and healthier choices. Again, as Bill said, consistency. You don't have to be perfect. Just do it more often than not. And also, as most of us know, what we focus on expands. So if you're thinking about the good stuff that you want, that you enjoy, as opposed to the unhealthy stuff, now you're focusing on what you want that's going to be good for you. And sooner or later, you're going to stop thinking about the Hershey bars, the Snicker bars, the M&Ms, the ice cream, the Coca-Colas, the sodas, and everything else. Because that's what it was like for me. I stopped thinking about that stuff in July of 2016. I don't think about it anymore. I can walk by and not even give it a second thought.
See, I believe that. I did that with alcohol 8 years. Like, like, hey, like I don't take it lightly, but I just don't I don't need it. And that was it, because I had 3 days where I didn't have upset stomach in the morning because I didn't eat a whole pack of cookies. And then the one day I ate a whole pack of cookies and I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, I don't want to feel like that again, because I had like 3 good days. And so the point is, I thank you all for being vulnerable and open about this, because there's a lot more than just health. You start to figure out who you are, uncover challenges, right? You get a sense of accomplishment. This is a lot to it, but you made it in such an easy to follow format, man, that is just, it's simple. So simple, the Redneck Connector can do it. We're going to have to, I'm going to have to trademark that, so you have to pay me when that goes viral. But anyway, Bill, help me with that. Send me the right way. Ain't me, buddy. So real quick, let's make sure, because I know you have a special offer for folks that are listening who will watch this on the recording and elsewhere. You have emergency support calls in the program. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So I just keep restarting, but I might need one of those because I'm not restarting week 2. So what kind of situations come up when folks would need that lifeline, and how do you coach them through it?
Well, a lot of times clients or members of the community will reach out and say, what about this food? Is it okay to eat? Or what about this product? And my first question is, what are the ingredients? For example, one of my clients asked if she could have kosher dill pickles that were refrigerated. And she sent me a picture of the front. I said, what's on the back? And so one of the ingredients was white distilled vinegar. And I said, it's got white distilled vinegar. And she says, what's wrong with white distilled vinegar? So I looked it up for her because I knew it was bad. And it said it's used as a cleaning solution or as a pesticide. So I asked her, I said, do you really want to put cleaning solution or pesticide in your body? If you do, go ahead and eat it. If you don't, don't. And that's what it is the front of the packaging of packaged foods is, they'll show you sometimes the calories, the proteins, 0 sugars, or it's non-fat. Anything that says non-fat, avoid. It's because it's made with olein, which was formerly known as Olestra, and it was a fat-reducing drug. So it started by Cyril as a pharmaceutical company as a drug, and then they found, we can put this in food and make it fat-free or reduce the fat. Again, it's not healthy for you. Not the food we're eating, it's what they've done to the food. Sorry about that. My dog is barking.
I was going to say, who's barking? Bill? Who was that?
I don't have a dog in the Jeep. I can't afford a cabin, so I got to have a Jeep.
We are the hounds.
It's the hounds. They're barking.
Yes, the hounds are barking. So anyways, again, protein bars are one of the worst because they'll say this much protein, but they don't tell you how much sugar is in there. And when you look at the ingredients, you won't touch it. And that's what I help people with. Or something comes up where they just need to talk to someone. And so I make myself available for people to talk to reach out, figure out what's going on, figure out why they want to eat something that they know isn't good for them, see what we can do to substitute it or reduce it. So instead of eating a whole box of Girl Scout Thin Mint cookies like I used to do, maybe you can have a few. So little things like that. What I did in the tracker, I not only put in what you can do, how to do it, I also put in why I'm asking you to do it, so you understand the why behind it.
Yeah, and y'all see me teasing, so folks might not know why. I kept teasing David with this. Oh, wait a minute. This is not mine. And I was going to put water in it and just start chugging on it. Because remember that day that I didn't even think about it? I had I just started the program. I ran on the call. Everybody was snacking. And I showed up with a bag of Sun Chips and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, there's my one day that and then the next day and the next day. But again, folks, do it until you make it. That's the whole thing, right? Don't compete, but don't compare kind of mentality. That's how I look at it. Just, hey, it's a journey, it's a destination. I'm learning a lot, and at least I'm trying. I'm taking the steps, right? And that's it. Usually, I just go whatever, and then I would be in ill health 30 years from now, and wonder why, right? So, just take action, folks. If you're building a business, if you have a hectic life, you want to make sure that you knew, hey, this is principle. It's not like the laws of health doesn't work for you and works for someone else. It's like gravity. It works for everybody, Bill, right? Like that's the point. It doesn't discriminate.
On page 28, it also says 90% of cardiac arrests are preventable through your diet.
Yeah.
Wow.
That should be maybe closer to the front for somebody like me. My father had heart attack at 44. My mother had valves replaced. I'm the poster child of what could be next, right? So I read that and go, oh, diet, I can do that. But that's all part. But I read it before I actually clicked and started. I'm slow.
Thank you for saying that, because as I've been in finance for 15 years. I can't believe that. Gosh. And I seen people like 40-year-old healthy on the outside, had no idea. They just died and they found out. Well, they had high cholesterol, like through the roof. I actually had somebody take a life insurance app one time, and thank God they did it, because they're like, oh, how are you still alive? It was that bad. Yeah. And they looked fine, felt fine, didn't know any better. So again, you got to get checkups and stuff, but your doctor, you can't carry your doctor around in your pocket, right? So you got to find something else, right? And this is that something else to me. It's like, hey, there's no shame, no judgment. It's just support. It's support. It's real honest to God facts and things, and take it or leave it. And I love that. I love that approach. And I love, the non-pushy style, right? It's like the most attractive man or woman in the singles bar doesn't need to sell it. They're just going to they're going to go and talk and laugh and just let people know it's there. And that's the attitude of the hounds and the people that I run with. And I love that. So thank you for that. Let me ask the last two questions and we're going to sign off here. All right. So both, this is for April and Bill. What's been the ripple effect of getting your health back? So how's it changed your business, relationships, whatever, or quality of life overall? What have you seen already in this program?
Ladies first or not? No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our Starlink's working. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, before I freeze and unthaw really quick. I would say the biggest impact it has had on me is by having this consistency of the water, drinking the water. It's actually helped with my skin. It's helped with the brain fog, right, that we all have sometimes. It's really helped me to focus more. Not that I wasn't that scattered before, but it's just kind of streamlines and really, as I always say, puts my attention on my intention for my health. And I love the affirmation. I'm just going to read it out loud here so I don't mess it up, David. Everything I eat and drink heals and nourishes my body, helping me to achieve and maintain excellent health. So when I'm going to possibly go for that donut, right? It's not cookies for me, Mike, it's donuts. Then I'll ask, I'll remember that. It just kicks into my brain. And it's like, is this nourishing my body? And I feel that wah, wah, wah. Like, it's like, no, it's taking away. And so that's what's really helped me. And so then I'm able to be in a better place when I'm connecting with others and when I'm supporting my clients. Yeah, I really enjoy this. So thank you, David. Thank you for offering this opportunity to be part of this with you.
Wow. See, look at him. He looks like Tom Tomato over there now. Look at him. It's good. Listen, you put the work in, right? And this is the call. Not to get preachy, folks, but listen. When you put yourself out there, you go from a divorce attorney to somebody who investigates health and who knows what'll happen. This is what I love about what I do. Just regular folks doing extraordinary things. And if he didn't do all of that and go through all that crap in his life, we wouldn't be here excited and benefiting. So if you're going through crap in life right now, hey, you're not alone. But whether you turn that crap into fertilizer is on you. We got the support system in the Hounds with people in CEO zones and all these great folks, April. But you just got to show up at this point. So I'm a blessed guy. Y'all see I can't even talk. I'm so daggone grateful for what we've created here because it's life changing. It really is. I mean, so Bill, let's put it back to Bill. Same thing to you. What is the ripple effect?
I'm not sure it's the ripple effect, but it is the confidence effect. When I used to look at employees or clients and they were sloppy, I would kind of go, this guy doesn't pay attention to his flock, if you will, or he doesn't pay attention to his herd. And I was certainly that way. So I don't know that it's affected to the positive the business, because our employees are all over the place and I don't bump into them in person. So on a video, you can keep it up here and nobody knows, kind of thing. But the ripple effect, again, was back between the ears. It was, I feel more confident. I'm about to hang up on this call, walk into an event, and I will feel better about it just a month in. So I think that's the ripple effect. The ocean is still going on inside this little bean of mine. So
yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Bill. We're gonna, if you need to go ahead and bail out, we're about done. But I know you have a special event to do and family to support. So, but thank you for that. It's like you push the boulder up the top of the hill. It doesn't take as much energy to go down the hill, right? And I think this has really excited me because I'm like, well, I keep resetting. Yeah, and keep doing it. You get closer every time you do it. And once you get up there, it's not as hard, right? It's not as a big chore. But I like when David tells his little stories. It does. And like April, I look around and go, do I want that to be me, right? Because we all have choices. And I'm not judging others, but I'm like, I don't have to be me. I can make decisions now. So yeah, thank you all for sharing it. Last thing, David, so where can folks find more about it? We put the website on the screen, but walk us through it. If folks want to learn more, just get involved, get going. How do they do it? What's the investment? And tell us where to go.
Normally it would be $60 for the tracker and the book. However, I'm offering it for $40, and that includes the shipping. And then it's $10 a month after that. And you can stay as long as you need to. We're attempting to build a community where it's more supportive, non-judgmental, because I've been there. I understand the embarrassment, the frustrations, the lack of energy, the excuses. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find it at jadedhealth.com. What are you guys laughing at?
I threw Bill's face up there and he's like, whoa, it's just me. Peppa hit the wrong button.
So, that's what I want people to understand. You're not going to be judged. You're going to be encouraged, supported, hopefully inspired. It's to make a mind chatter shift that, 80% of our thoughts are negative. Imagine if we're able to reverse that and make it 80% positive. And I always want to approach it from a positive aspect as opposed to a negative. And again, I'm not perfect. I don't pretend to be. I do enjoy a scoop of ice cream every once in a while, or slice of pie, very small slice, or a sliver of cake. So I don't tell people that they have to avoid everything and be a food purist. That's not the whole purpose. It's just to be consistent in making better choices, because it's having that energy, the vitality, the mental clarity, the cognitive ability, and get rid of the brain fog. And if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for your family or kids or grandkids, or if you're a business owner, do it for your employees. Think about what would happen if you had a serious illness or suddenly a heart attack that took your life. What happens to them and your business? So again, a lot of people won't do it for themselves. They'll do it for others. Whatever your why is, make sure it's big enough.
All right, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to ask a final question of, hey, how can folks take baby steps and get going, even if they're not in Life 42? And you answered that. So I think we said it all. Let's reconvene. Y'all want to do another one in a few weeks to kind of recap and pull some more folks in? And
Sure.
Because we want to take this Picasso, right? This health, just basic information, right? In such a supportive community already. So I'm extremely excited to help support that. Honored to be in that. Bill Forrester, thank you for being here, my friend. Thank you for being who you are, being open and exploring new concepts. And hey, congratulations on the beach body you're working on, man. I can't wait to see you. Oh, but hey, it's gonna be a 2-piece summer, isn't it?
We got
Now,
we got a beach ball we're working on. I don't know about a beach ball.
That's gonna be the next show. You're brilliant. Beach ball to beach body. Let's do it. All right. So,
And just one more thing, Mike. I'm 70, so I don't want to hear people saying they're too old to start this.
No, they're too old to start health. Look, there's like 80-year-old women starting businesses. Like, look, the game has changed, folks. Go out there, be the person you're meant to be. You struggle if you got to struggle, right? Do whatever it takes. Life's too short. Make meaning of it, right? Go find the purpose, like we talked about last week, and have a ball. You never know what will happen in your life if you just start saying yes to stuff, right? And just go explore it. And in April, I did rename my cat April because you are the most curious person I've ever met in my life, and so is my cat. No, I saw my cat. I had the Slinky, and I kept moving the Slinky real fast, and she was terrified, but her curiosity overrode it. Like, she's terrified, but she had to see what this was, But I joke with you. But you live a fulfilling life, right? You help others do that because you're always getting info. You're always testing things out. And that's the calling card. Approach it like a scientist. Take all the emotions and garbage out of it. Go in there and just take steps and explore it. Hey, what would happen if I did this? Let's go find out.
What do you got to lose, really? Weight? Exactly. Hey, that's great.
More money, not eating on other apps and all that stuff. Like, that's what got my wife, David. She's like, we're working so much so we can't fix food, but we're wasting all the money that we make on garbage.
Less is more. Less is more.
Right. So plug into the community. David, thank you so much. Everybody go to jadedhealth.com. All right. Whether it's getting the book, joining the program, wellness workshops, or just a bunch of free info. There it is. Everybody flash it again. Look, I even got an autograph. Check that out. I'm special. All right. So thank you, David, for being a stand-up guy, man. You're a good dude, and I'm glad to share you with others, and it's an honor, my friend. So
thank you.
Oh, yeah, we got the ads in it. See, this is what the Hounds does because April helps people with harmony, right? And Michelle Ward's in there as well. Michelle Ward, she's a Hound self-sabotage coach. There I am, right? So easy, even I could do it. There it is. And
Michelle's in here. Yeah,
there's
she
Michelle.
is. We miss you tonight, Michelle. Maybe next time.
There's April.
She's doing an event with Claudia, another Hound, Claudia Moralanda. And they are out there doing, I think, what was it, art and burnout workshops together?
We want to acknowledge Tommy, too.
Oh, yes, Tommy.
Oh, yeah. So Tommy is he's the physical fitness aspect, right? Because if your health is good and then you work out well, woo, now you're going to have that beach body, right? Right, Bill?
I'm bouncing it.
You're bouncing all the way. All right, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in. I know it's springtime and nice weather, but we appreciate you. And we'll have another continuation probably in June. Folks, if you want to tap into anybody, anything here, hey, feel free. It's a friendly group of people. So don't do it alone. You have an impact to make in this world, and we want to see it through. All right. All the things in life that you don't like or you had to struggle through, you might want to do something about that. And if that's the case and you're trying to build a business to impact others and leave a legacy, shameless plug, folks, check out the Hounds of Business. I have a group call every week. Ask for the link. It's on my LinkedIn profile at Redneck One, and I got a free engagement guide. So go test me. I'm not even going to talk to you until you go out there and realize I'm not full of doo-doo. Right? It's just a nice way to go out there and start attracting and making friends that are meaningful, that can convert organically into business. All right. You don't have to do all the goofiness. So we'll tune in next week, folks. Appreciate you a million. And hey, Bill, have a good time, man. Thank you for taking time out for us.
Thank you, David.
Yes. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mike.
My
Good
pleasure.
to see you, Bill.
All right. We'll see you on the next one. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.